Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Santa Barbara Zoomcast. I'm Joe Parker, and today I'm with Sam of Sta-Biles in downtown Santa Barbara, one of our premier boutique gift shops on State Street. We are so lucky to have this treasure here in town. And I remember, Sam, seeing your operation when you started out of this really cool big van. You just park it in random places, open up the back, and you'd have this great little personally curated selection of items and gifts, all kinds of stuff that were really cool for people to shop and choose from. And you went from the van to a store on Canada Perdido, I think you just told me, and now State Street. So Sam, good morning. Welcome. How are you today?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me here on the page. It's always fun to follow it, and also fun to be involved early on, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, you do a great job using it. I love the way you market your stuff. I love how you're getting creative with it, with videos and pictures, and just keeping reminding the people here of all the great things. So tell us about your store. How did it get started? Maybe real quick before we dive into that, tell me about the name.
So Stabiles comes from when I originally was leaving my original career. I used to be in the luxury hotel industry in the food and beverage, and I was making the decision to go solo, and the name really stems from my first product that I made that was a stand for air plants. I started selling those, and then when I was trying to come up with the name, I wanted something that had a story and some connection, and so Stabiles actually comes from it's kind of like an homage to Alexander Calder. I mean, everyone knows there's Stabiles, his sculptures, but there was this big, not necessarily joke, but actually fact that like an artist named Duchamp used to look at Alexander Calder and go like, hey, listen, your stuff is really not Stabiles, they're mobiles, And then when I was like looking for a name, I was like, Alexander Calder was influenced by nature a lot. A lot of people don't know that. I had made something that was still and involved nature, a living plant. And so started playing with the wording, and then I was like, oh my God. And then I finally reached a really funny background story, which was like Stabiles to pay the bills. And that's why it stuck. So the people that know me, they know that I joke around. I'm like, this is why I'm doing it. This is why it's perfect. Like, it's Stabiles to pay the bills so that I could just like do whatever I want, Right. And so that, and it stuck, and and it's been a fun kind of development, because then with the truck, it became like the Stabiles Mobile. Okay. And that we call the truck the Stabiles Mobile. And so it's just been fun. It's been like a play with words a little bit too.
Very cool. And so you had the truck for a while, and I imagine you experienced some success with that. So you took it to the brick and mortar operation, huh?
Yeah, so it's all been about slow growth for us. I mean, I think people know if you want to be an independent, and then if you're going to transition into like another career field, you should really go slow. Yeah. Slow and steady. That's always been the goal, is like not like some crazy, like, let's just do it and go hard, And right. So the truck was a transition from like selling my stuff on a table to going to a truck to basically then going to a shared space where I had like my design studio and some retail on Canada Perdido, like I was telling you. And then from there, we had the opportunity to hop down to State Street here at 527. We felt like, what a great place to come, like Hotel Santa Barbara, family owned, local, it's been here for like ever. Neighboring businesses that have established themselves for like, 30 years. Marcel Hemp has been there for a long time. And so for us, we're like, you know what, we want to go somewhere and contribute something to that area. And we felt like this was the block 2 years ago. And so here we are,
Yeah,
Fires,
and that block is blowing up right now with the promenade.
Yeah, it really is we're a fortunate place for us to be, a great place where there's definitely a lot of action. It's like people like want to see movement, or they want to see people and sit outside and like feel like a different type of energy. It's definitely on this block. For sure.
Yeah. For sure. I'm excited to see what's happening in that area. The revitalization, it feels like, is really underway for that part of town. And also, I think for retail, we're seeing a lot of the big retail establishments that have kind of dominated or anchored State Street in a way disappear. We're seeing a lot more people kind of circling around and rethinking their shopping behavior. you know, I recently made a post asking people if they're interested in spending a little bit more and maybe putting a little more effort to support local. And the whole idea behind that was me kind of looking at my own personal behavior, seeing how, you know, I was talking with a pet store owner, how we're ordering pet food and stuff, and it's real easy and it's cheaper and everything. And I'm like, well, how is that really benefiting the local community? And a lot of people seem like they want to do that, but maybe they need a little nudge, you know, more to some ideas on how they could do that. And one great idea on how you could do that is check out Stabiles, because you have, what's that?
Yeah, I said, yeah, definitely. Like, check out the shops, you know.
Check out the shop. You have an amazing selection. I mean, everything from, I was, you know, looking everything from like art, clothing, personal stuff that you could wear. You've got, you're making candles. You got the air plants, a lot of different stands and stuff for that. So tell me about what drives your selection, and maybe we could dive into some of the things you're offering down there. Yeah,
definitely. So what drives the selection is really like, we don't associate ourselves with anything that we don't absolutely care about. That really is literally the rule. The other thing that follows that is literally we design and make goods that will be able to stand next to these goods that are some of the best from the world. Right. And that's how we know when we've created something that is solid, is if it stands up next to things that are great, things that we consider great. So nothing is in here that we wouldn't gift someone or that we wouldn't use ourselves. So it creates like an environment that's really just fun, you know. And for us, like, someone comes in like and they want to be spoken to, we'll have a conversation with, and we'll take you through the store, and it really is an experience, because almost every item has a story, you know, and there's background to it. I mean, we've had people that have spent hours in here that have never been here, or they've heard of it, and then they come and they're like, there's just so much stuff, and we're like, so much stuff, you know, there really is. And then they come back and they're like, wow, we didn't even see this stuff last time. And I'm like, yeah, I totally understand. I was like, we walk in here and we forget what we've built because we're surrounded by it all the time. So sometimes we stop, and like moments like this, when I'm here at the store, when it's like, we're not open yet, and I look over at the wall and I'm like, oh my God, look at the wall. It looks great. And this is our wall, you know, like our store, crazy, you know? So it's fun. So
yeah, I could see how you could keep finding new stuff if you keep visiting it. And you know, this is one of my favorite things. I love the candles you're making. I love that video you posted about making candles. The bubble jar candle, super cool. That thing, I really like that.
Yeah, those are really cool. You know, again, it's like, these are all things that we've been working on for months, you know, and then it's like, when COVID hit, we're like, we slowed down, like we went into a halt, you know, and we just had to reassess. But that bubble candle is so cool. We just like, we introduced it slowly. People have been buying it. It looks really cool in your house. I see it at my house. It's like, there's just a different vibe to them, you know. They're different, you know, and they are natural. So it's like, you're not introducing any toxins to your house, you know. So they're fun, definitely.
Well, let's see what you got. You're going to take us on a little tour of the store. You got some items you're going to show us?
So I would say this is like what we call our E-rack. Here we find anything from like copper goods to like some jewelry. And then there's some items here that roll outside. But then we have like home accessories, some from Japan, some made in like Dana Point, like these leather planters. Then we also do like stationery. So we have a bunch of cool pens from like Japan. Then we do a bunch of like really cool like art supply style items. Then this is one of our cases. We do sell watches, like handful of selected watches. Then over here, it's like we have kind of like a little bit of a Zen area where we like to have incense and that type of thing. Ooh, nice. Like a copper vessel for water. That's a little bird box. It's really cool. It's from the Netherlands. It's like it's operated by a sensor. Then we do have some jewelry, all handmade. A bunch of pots. We're known for plants, so we have curated a really cool selection of pots and plants. And if you come and you need one and you like one, we actually keep dirt here, so you can we can pot it for you, or you can pot it. We do have a women's department with clothing, art, a bunch of clocks that are actually original replicas from Denmark, more jewelry. We do keep some of our machines in here because we want to remind people that we do make things. So that's like our embroidery machine. That's our wax tempering machine.
Okay.
That one right there, we can make custom shirts for people. We design and make a bunch of our own shirts too. And then there's our home goods section, which is actually like one major section in the truck. That is what we're known for. So all really, I hate using the word high end because they're really just quality goods that are going to last you more than one lifetime. So if you're into sustainability, then this is the stuff you want to buy because they're future heirlooms, you know?
Yeah. And maybe the right word is high design, you know, this stuff is really thoughtful and creative and unique, and something that, you know, when you bring it home, it's gonna you know, almost have a life of its own. You know, it's like we got to get away from this Anywhere USA type of store and product where you know, there's just no soul to it. You walk into this place and you could just, you know, it's palatable. You could feel the creativity and the soul and the energy that went into creating the selection and the items. And so that's something I've taken away from my visits.
Awesome. Thanks. Well said. I mean, that's definitely kind of like hitting the nail on the head, you know. All those items we find are like, you heighten the experience, you know, of whatever it is that you're doing. And so then we have men's jewelry too. We do look out for the guys. This is one of my latest designs. This is a shirt that we made in the fall. And then we have a men's section. So we are looking out for the guys as well. But yeah, I mean, and there's, like I said, there's so much in here that it's like, and we do have a bunch of greeting cards and stuff like that. But yeah, and then we have a bunch of rare stuff, like things that people don't know exist. Like this is a glove for shucking oysters.
Ooh.
You know, it's a little spendy, but if you need one, then we have one, you know. And then like these are some Japanese knives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Technology.
so that's a quick tour of the store, but really you almost have to come here and like spend a little time, you know.
Yeah, that's really what it invites the consumer to do is make your shopping experience an outing, right? Come here. And what I love about it is, no matter, in particular, like whenever you're shopping for somebody in your life that, you know, a loved one or a family member, somebody in your life that is having an occasion, you want to buy them a gift, no matter who it is, whether it's a child, a grandparent, a spouse, you know, a brother, an uncle, you're going to find something that will be unique and wonderful that I think that they really enjoy at your store there. And so, you know, let's all take some time to think about our consumer behavior and remind ourselves that we have these jewels, these great places here in Santa Barbara that we should take some time, go down there and browse on your own, or like I did last time I was shopping there, I got a little private tour where Sam kind of pointed out some things, because for me, I was just like, oh, wow, there's a lot here. And so I was on a little bit of a time issue. So he's like, boom, boom, boom. And it was perfect. He showed me exactly what I wanted to see, and I found some great stuff. But, you know, make an outing of it. You know, maybe get some lunch, and then while you're digesting, browse the store for an hour, see what you come up with.
Yeah, and for us, we've always been on this thing, like, and I think the reason we still exist is because for whatever reason, we always took this approach of like, we don't always have to sell something that day.
Right.
Like, we're like, get to know us, like, come to the shop, feel free, hang out, take a look. And we never have banked on this, like, oh, we got to sell something to these people. You know, we've always just been like, hey, come in, absorb, and one day, hopefully you'll be back, you know? And that's always just been our approach. It's very like chill, calm, just like our city, you know? I mean, Santa Barbara is very laid back, very relaxed. And because we're a local business, that's our same approach. It's like, we just kind of let people kind of wander and do their thing, you know? And if we feel like they might need some information, we just throw a little something out there and let it just develop. But I remember when you came in, I was like, you know, I'll show you the winners, you know? I'm like, this is what's happening. You told me what you were trying to do. And I said, listen, these are the ones, you know, and that's what you get when you go to like a local shop. You get to know the shop owners, the employees, and you develop these relationships and this trust, and that's what shopping local is, you know. And shopping online can get that, and I think that the future of online shopping is also changing because we are online.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna go to online stores where you are gonna be catered like that as well. So if you are wanting to shop online, shop us online, local. Us send your gifts. Come in here, we'll wrap it up and we'll ship it. We're set up to do all of that stuff. And I would say as more people do that, more shops will adjust to being able to do that, you know. But it's also key to shop locally online. You know, you can do it. It's totally
That's a great
free.
reminder. You've done a great job with your online store. I was browsing, it works well on the phone. And, you know, for those that are not comfortable getting out and going downtown and spending some time at the store, definitely don't forget that most of these stores, including Stabiles, is online, where you could just spend time in the comfort of your couch and browse all the wonderful items, or at least a lot of them.
Yeah, and social media. Like you could like, we've had people go through our Instagram. They follow us on Instagram and they see something new because it doesn't always make it online right away, and they say, "Oh, I want that," you know. And we're like, "We'll make it happen."
Boom.
You know,
right?
And it's like, so following people on like Facebook, following people on Instagram does help them a ton, because you'll encounter something that you might find you need, you know. And right now we're still doing curbside. You know, anyone that doesn't feel comfortable going out and, hey, you need a candle, or you need a plant, or you need a gift, or you want something from online and you want to swoop it, you know. But even right now, we're still doing free shipping online.
Nice.
Like that, no one's doing that, you know. And for us, we're just going like, hey, we're here to provide a service. That's always been key. Like, we're doing a service. You support us online, we'll reward you by going like, hey, we're gonna box it up. We're shipping it for free. That's what we're doing. And we're just going amazing. Like, it's crazy, you know. We started doing it like right when COVID happened, and I mean, we were shipping stuff to New York, like literally when they were like in the red, you know, and it's cool to do that. We're like, oh my God, these people need these things.
Yeah. Bring a little joy into their life. Yeah. Right. Well, that's amazing. We could go on all day, but I want to probably bring it to an end, and looking forward to being back down again soon, Sam. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for the chat, and come through.
I will. Take care, buddy.
Awesome. All right. Bye.